Just like old Jack, this Ripper was never brought to justice either. This week we discuss the unsolved case of the Atlanta Ripper. Let's open the serial killer file. It was May 28, 1911, when a nightmare would come to life in Atlanta, Georgia. The body of an African-American woman was found only 25 yards from her home. The body belonged to Belle Walker, a cook who had run into the nameless murderer and met her demise at the end of a knife. Belle had her throat slashed wide open. Her blood painted the area around her body, and despite such a bold act, no witnesses came forward, and police had no idea where to find the woman's killer. Just 1 month later, 2 more women were found, throats slashed just like Belle's. This was when police realized they weren't dealing with a typical murderer, but proper investigation and media reporting weren't the highest priorities due to the incredibly sad fact that racism was so prevalent in these times. Many important details of the Atlanta Ripper slipped through the cracks. One woman did manage to survive her encounter with the Atlanta Ripper and described him as a gigantic black man. Once 8 women were found dead, all in the same manner, the signature slashed, gaping throat, the police began arresting as many large black men as they could around Atlanta and in neighboring areas, without probable cause and only a basic description to go off of. But this blatant and primitive form of racial profiling didn't help police in the way they had hoped. The bodies of African American and other dark-skinned women continued to fall every week, throats cut so deep at times that they were nearly decapitated. The entire black community shut away from the public and refused to go out at night, especially either in fear of encountering the enormous, neatly dressed Ripper or for fear of the possibility of being arrested by the police for simply being outside. Newspapers reported that all the victims were often well-dressed and attractive, so less attractive darker women had little to worry about, as unbelievable as that may seem. Like clockwork, every Saturday night, the Atlanta Ripper had his way. The victims never showed signs that they struggled. It was as if they were approached from behind, seized, their head pulled back, and their throats slashed once from ear to ear. To make matters worse, the Ripper would kill in different areas each time, far enough apart that police couldn't properly monitor the areas to catch him in the act. Some newspaper articles claim that the bodies were mutilated after death, while others did not. One newspaper even claimed that police believed the Atlanta Ripper was a white man disguised as a black man, but that lead, like all others, stopped at a dead end. Women around 20 years of age continued to die, now more spaced apart, and by the end of 1911, 15 dark-skinned women were dead. In April of 1912, it's believed the Atlanta Ripper had taken his 19th victim's life. By now, the police knew the Ripper had an intimate understanding with death and perhaps a knowledge of human anatomy, as the newspaper at the time reported the effective killing and clean removal of one of the girl's organs before the killer once again vanished into the shadows. It's believed that the Atlanta Ripper would kill 21 women total, but it can never be confirmed how many he truly killed himself. But what is known is that the Atlanta Ripper never saw justice, and neither did any of his victims. Before we go, I'd like to give a very special shout out to Audible. Audible loves Seriously Strange and has graciously decided to support this episode. Audible is the leading provider of audiobooks with over 150,000 titles to choose from, and they're offering Seriously Strange fans a free 30-day trial to try out their amazing service. All you need to do is go to audible.com/Rob to start your 30-day free trial. I'm currently listening to Murder Mysteries, True, Horrific, and Unsolved Murder Cases. This audiobook not only provides insight into the mind of a killer, but also covers some of the best unsolved murders in history. It's sure to leave you scratching your head, but I won't spoil it for you. If crime isn't your thing, Audible has plenty of other genres to choose from science to history to self-improvement and much, much more. All you need to do is go to audible.com/Rob, start your 30-day free trial, listen anywhere you want, and expand your mind. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn more about serial killers and other creepy topics, please be sure to subscribe to my channel now. And I will see you next Sunday.